never, not today. Step by step I go, faster than the flow. Broke through every chain, I will not be contained.
Oh, yes. There we go. It's going to be a good night tonight. Oh, yes. What's up, Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights? Good to see you. Hello, Linda. No. Andrea Mayers, good to see you. Debbie Webb. Hello, Puddletown. I know you're lurking around there somewhere. I know I can feel you. I can feel you breathing down my neck, son. Oh boy, do we have a good one for you tonight. So you guys have been wondering, I'm sure, where these soft citizens get these crazy ideas. Hey, Crystal Love, nice, very nice theme song. Oh, excellent. Welcome. This is a fun, fun place to be. We like to be absurd, crazy, and don't ever believe any of the crap that we say because we don't know what in the hell we're talking about. Oh, from the British, what's that? BCA. I think that's California, Colorado, Canada. Yeah, that's what it is. Good to see you tomorrow. Yay! No, this is fun. This is fun. Oh, well, you know, what can Puddletown do? He can't contain himself. So we're gonna disclaimer: never say Google anything. No, don't do that. Oh, hi from Iowa. Welcome, Norma. Welcome. Oh, we've got a fun one for you tonight. What we're going to do is we're going to show you a quick sovereign citizen video, and then we're going to show you a little bit about where they get some of their crazy ideas from. Because everybody always asks, where in the hell do these people get these crazy ideas from? Not the YouTube one. That happens. I mean, I'm used to it. Not coming through on the YouTube side. I'm also streaming over on Twitter, I think. Yeah, something like that. So this one's going to be a good one. This one is it's about a 14-minute video, but it'll put a smile on your face, most definitely.
I'm not taking any jurisdiction over your personal property, sir. I'm taking jurisdiction over you. All right. So good morning to both of you. This case has been going on since May of last year. In this case, Ms. Simmons has an order for $437 a month as the primary payment for child support, and she has a payment of $87 a month as a repay. For my math, my mind is not that efficient to figure out the amount, so let me just put what he's supposed to be paying. 437 plus.
Hey, Noel, nice to see
87,
you.
I think is what I said. All right, the child support payment is supposed to be $524 a month. Looking at my notes over time, both parties were present in June of last year, and then in August of last year. I've given multiple resets.
Tell me.
And then he was here October. And then I dismissed the case because you were consistent in October of 2023. Then in August of 2024, she refiled because you stopped making payments.
Mm-hmm.
And then I set a Zoom date. I actually issued a warrant for your arrest. But we reset the case because you came in person and indicated that you did not get the hearing. No.
Are things frozen already? I hope not. I hope it's not. I'm hoping everything's not frozen. Is it frozen? Moving my head. Moving my hand. Rumble notification came through, but not the YouTube one. Is it frozen? Hoping it's frozen. No. Yes. No. I'm still wondering if it's frozen. Give me a second. If it's frozen, it'll smooth out here in a second. Give it just a minute. Let me see. Ah, damn YouTube. Let's see. Oh, it's not frozen. It's working for me. It's good. It's good. It's good. We're good. We're running smooth. I just pulled it up. The video is paused, but Shizzy is moving. Yes, I paused it.
Notice I don't usually give second opportunities when I've worked with you for a whole year to get you back on track, and then you just fall off. Generally, that's a problem because you're under an order to pay child support, and I've already given you the opportunity of what I call redeeming yourself.
That's so confusing.
Looking at the order, you have mom has custody of Abraham, Asher, and Naomi, 3 children. That's not a lot of child support for 3 children anyway, but
no, it's not. Yeah.
All right. And so looking at your child support order, it looks like mom was receiving unemployment payments for April. And then when we came to court last month, DCSS said that they saw that you may have had a job and they were trying to see if they could get the child support taken directly out of your paycheck. I reset the case to give you a chance that if there's an income deduction order, I would recall the warrant and let the income deduction order continue to proceed, but there's nothing to date. So last payment mom received was April, I believe. And so that's May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 months, 3 kids, no support at all.
Damn.
As what I'm showing. Okay. Yes, you can raise your hand. Yes, Miss Simmons.
I submitted evidence as well. It was something that Mr. Simmons had filed with Superior Court, I believe. So I think they may have it. They said they were going to upload it for you to be able to see it.
Okay, give me one moment. Mr. Keys, Joshua, do you see anything from her that you could forward to me?
Abraham Simmons.
Yeah, let me give me 1 second. Hold on. I'll look.
Okay, give me one moment, please. And you sent it to the magistrate court clerks, Miss Simmons? Okay.
Yeah, they made a copy of it. Yeah, I took it into the office.
Hey, Melody. Okay. Good to see you.
All right. Well, I'm waiting on the information from Miss Simmons. Miss Arena Camarillo, is there any update on the information that was sent in on the ID?
Yeah. I'm not sure when the last meeting with the court was, but I can say that on August 22nd, we received a response from an employer via fax stating that he was no longer employed at the location where we had sent the income withholding order to. They said he was no longer employed there as of August 22nd, 2024.
All right, Mr. Simmons, while I'm waiting for Ms. Simmons' information to be sent, mind you, I've already issued the warrant for your arrest, but you can go ahead and explain to me why you haven't paid any child support in the past 7 months.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm appearing under special appearance exclusively to address the challenge to jurisdiction. I request that no substantial matters proceed until jurisdiction clarification is fully resolved over my personal property. For the record, I request that all responses to the questions in my demand for clarification on jurisdiction be fully documented in court record. So a clarification of demand that was sent. That should be filed. That's what you're referring to. Demand for clarification of jurisdiction.
Okay. You have a child support order. Ms. Simmons has a child support order in DeKalb County. You are under an order to pay child support. In the state of Georgia, it is a crime to not support your children for 30 days. The law states that the case should be filed where the mother resides with the children.
Sorry to hear that,
Ms. Simmons, I'm just going to unmute you. Ms. Simmons, where do you reside at this time?
Earlier that you did.
DeKalb County.
DeKalb County, and where did the children reside?
Yeah, also DeKalb County and Stone Mountain.
And where are they attending school? In what jurisdiction?
DeKalb County. Asher attends Chamblee Charter High School in Chamblee, also DeKalb County. Naomi attends Redam Middle School, Stone Mountain, DeKalb County.
Okay, thank you. For criminal purposes, I do find to have jurisdiction over you, Mr. Simmons. You are the father
I know exactly
of these 3 children. There's an existing child support order for you to pay child support. You're failing to pay the child support. You have not paid child support in 7 months. I'm still waiting, so give me one moment before I proceed. You don't want to explain to me why you're not working, what you're doing. You have 3 children with Ms. Simmons, and you're not making any effort to comply with my order. The jurisdiction is determined that I absolutely have jurisdiction over you because your children are not being provided for by you. The last time we received was some unemployment in April and nothing since then. So there's jurisdiction over you. What else do you want to address, Mr. Simmons?
Your Honor, my demand includes several fundamental questions regarding the nature of the court's authority. I respectfully request the court provide clear answers to these questions before asserting jurisdiction over my personal property, specifically the state of Georgia operating as a corporation, or as
I'm not entertaining those questions.
Yes.
Those are sovereign citizens questions, and I'm not answering those questions. So I'm going to mute you for right now. I have jurisdiction over you. I have jurisdiction over your children. This is an appropriate proceeding. This is a government entity, and I have jurisdiction over our court in DeKalb County have jurisdictions over you. So this is the sovereign citizen kind of thing where people act like they're not, or they present that they're not members of the United States. And yeah, no, sorry, sir. You can present whatever you want in writing, but I've already determined I have jurisdiction. You've appeared in court before. You've never made an issue, so I'm not going to let you try to say we don't have jurisdiction over you. You've appeared multiple times before our court. All right, so give me one moment.
We looked in the inbox as well to look on the file. We do not see anything on file as far as from Ms. Simmons. Not saying she didn't, but we don't see anything in the actual inbox or attached to her file.
Do you have it already scanned, Ms. Simmons?
Myself, no. They did also stamp it to say that it was received by magistrate court as well. So,
okay, well, you can just tell me what it was. What was it?
Yeah, Mr. Simmons, he submitted something apparently to Superior Court. I received a certified copy of a letter in the mail stating basically that he believes that he should not be liable to pay child support because he did not agree to pay child support. Essentially, he said that he was under duress.
Of course he did.
In having to pay child support.
Somebody's whispering in his
ear.
Of his.
All right. So there are a number of entities out that go and challenge jurisdiction and the things that he's trying to do, reading some script of narrative that the judge doesn't have jurisdiction, and sometimes they say they're not a legal person. And yeah, I'm finding that you are a legal person. You've already appeared before the court, so you can't bring any new argument before the court. I do find that you're intentionally abandoning your 3 minor children, which are Abraham, Asher, and Naomi. So I am issuing the warrant for your arrest, sir. You can turn yourself into the DeKalb County Jail. Ms. Simmons, unfortunately, this doesn't expedite. It's just going to go to court. They will arrest him when it's time. They'll take him into custody, and then your case is going to be transferred to state court. So once your case is transferred to state court, Mr. Simmons, if you are recording this proceeding, I am going to hold you in contempt, and I can issue another warrant for your arrest. You are not to record this proceeding.
I'm not actually recording. My advice is to make sure that this is being represented accurately.
Are you recording this proceeding, Mr. Simmons?
I'm not recording this proceeding at all.
All right, thank you. Well, I was trying to give you an opportunity to explain why you haven't paid child support. You're determined. You tried to address jurisdiction. I find there's jurisdiction over you, your children. So with that being said, sir, a warrant's been issued for your arrest. You're not providing support since April, and you did good. You got off the case, and then you decided to go this route. That's on you. So $2,000 regular bond. Usually I give unsecured judicial releases, but I'm not because it's your second time before court. You can turn yourself in if you choose. If not, then there'll be a warrant outstanding for your arrest. And when they pick you up,
okay. I'm making special appearance to actually address the jurisdiction.
Special,
what
right.
I'm trying to do
That's
is
a good way,
clarify
buddy.
that first. I know you mentioned about jurisdiction, but I'm trying to answer the questions that are in the demand for clarification for jurisdiction. So those questions that was actually submitted, and I'm waiting for you to open.
Oh, that's not me.
waiting.
That's Superior Court. I'm not.
No. I walked it in personally to the magistrate court. I put it in there. The same document she's talking about. I put that.
Okay, sir, you can ask me
Not
the
the
question about
judge.
jurisdiction. I've already told you I have jurisdiction because your wife and your ex-wife and your 3 children live in DeKalb County. Under Georgia law, I have jurisdiction over the case. What other question do you have? And because you're the father that birthed those 3 children, you're the one that I find is committing a criminal offense. So a warrant's been
Sounds
issued
like
for your
Darth Vader
arrest.
when he
What
talks.
question do you have about jurisdiction?
Is this jurisdiction being fully documented in a court of record?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And apart from that, when I mentioned about the request for the court to provide clear answers to the questions before a certain jurisdiction of my personal property, they're written in the clarification for demand that was filed.
I'm not taking any jurisdiction over your personal property, sir. I'm taking jurisdiction over you. And the state court will decide whether or not you're going to go before a judge or jury. So that concludes our hearing, sir. Ms. Simmons, you'll just go to the DeKalb County court and they will DeKalb County State Court, your case has been transferred. Mr. Simmons has not paid support. Seems like he's not going to pay support. So I would also recommend through child support that you file a motion for contempt, because I'm sure he has the ability to take care of himself. And he sounds to me like he's challenging whether or not these children should be supported by him. So, sir, you can take that up in Superior Court, but for criminal purposes, I've already determined that we have jurisdiction over it. That concludes our hearing. Ms. Simmons, if you go to Odyssey, DeKalb County Odyssey, do not unmute yourself without my permission, sir. In Odyssey, you have to track your case. Okay. Give it about probably beginning of the year, go into DeKalb County Odyssey, keep putting his name in until you finally see something come up. And once it comes up, try to go to court if you can to advocate for the child support, because sometimes if mom isn't there, it just makes a difference when moms are active with the court and making sure that the support is provided. And I thought I don't know. Did you have a special needs child one?
Yes, that's right. Naomi has special needs. Yeah. She's gone for
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so sorry you're going through this, but hopefully you will be able to continue to do the best that you can do with it. All right. That concludes our hearing. All right, Mr. Simmons, you could turn yourself into DeKalb County Jail. If not, there's a warrant outstanding. And when they do a sweep through any different counties, then you'll be arrested and taken into custody. You have a bond of $2,000. And that concludes our hearing. I'll give you one final word if you have a question, Mr. Simmons, but I'm not dealing with jurisdiction questions because I've already determined I have jurisdiction over you. Do you have anything else that you need to say before I conclude the hearing? You can unmute.
I'm here on special appearance.
Okay, thank you. Well, we appreciate your special appearance. You're excused from court. We can go ahead and excuse Mr. Simmons and Ms. Simmons from court, and that concludes our hearing on that case.
And although that seems really minor, you ask, where do these folks get this from? Where do they get this garbage from? Well, I'm here to tell you, there's multiple places that they're getting it from, and I'll share it with you. I'll share it with you. This is one of them. This is just one of them. Now, I don't condone any of this, but we're going to read some of what they have. So if you're ready for it, it's about to get crazy. Here we go. This is from the ESDM. Their goal is to inspire, empower, motivate, educate mainly those born or naturalized in the USA, not the U.S. and who are members in how to love, honor, obey, glorify, and lift up our sovereign Lord above every king, ruler, government, and the earthly law at our personal, very practical level in every area of our lives. This is the essence of our religious worship, the essence, according to the Bible, how we love our God. Their ministry accomplishes above goals by emphasis and legal education focused on both God's law and man's law, religious liberty, faith, worship, law enforcement, legal activism, self-government rather than external government, personal responsibility, good citizenship, human sovereignty as an agent of the only sovereign who is God, nonviolent, lawful exercise of nonpartisan activism in pursuit of only religious goals, Thank you, Patrick W., for the gifted membership. Everybody, thank you so much. Let's see who got that gifted membership. Allie Riddle. Riddell? Yes. Welcome. You have been gifted a membership by Patrick W. Thank you, Patrick W. That is the swellest thing I have seen all day. Yeah, I was so if you guys are wondering, I was testing out to make sure that sound was working. Sound wasn't working for it. I was having all kinds of issues. That's why I made it private. It was supposed to be a private one, but for whatever reason it did it live. Number 7, return of lawful, unlimited, or limited, accountable, and constitutional government, which is God's servant rather than his enemy or his competitor, of the allegiance, obedience, affections, and worship of the sovereign people. We, the people. 8, exposing, publicizing, and exposing socialism, corruption, and violations of the Constitution and by the laws of government employees, officials. Number 9, exercising our First Amendment right of self-government exclusively under the civil laws of God. Well, your First Amendment is not that. 10, protecting and expanding the separation of powers doctrine, especially the separation of church, which is believers, from state, which is unbelieving people, and governments around them. The separation between church and the state is the essence of what sanctification means in religious context. Emphasizing and restoring the role of the private property of the freedom of each individual is used as defense against the government oppression and corruption. The personal pursuit of legal justice. Got some forms for that one, which means absolutely owned private property, another form, and equality of treatment and opportunity, another form, and real law, another form. The following would be unjust, not justice. Outlawing or refusing to recognize or enforce absolutely private property. Imposing equality of outcome by law, such as by abusing tax powers to redistribute wealth. They got another form for that one. Any attempt of government to use judicial process or administrative enforcement to force any legal or civil obligation derived from any other source other than the express written consent, or to the injury against equal rights of others demonstrated with court admissible evidence. They got more forms for that one too. Offering, implementing, or enforcing any civil franchise. And they got another form for that one. This enforces superior powers on the part of the government as a form of inequality and results in religious idolatry. This includes the making of justice into the civil public privilege, or turning constitutional private citizens into statutory public citizens engaged in public offense and franchise. Not only would the above injustice, it would outlaw happiness, because the right to absolute own property is equated in the pursuit of happiness in the declarations of the independence, according to the U.S. Supreme Court. See another form that we created for the justice. Definition of justice. Click here to see a video on why all franchises produce selfish unhappiness, inequality, and ingratitude. So should I click on it? I'm going to open that thing up in a new tab. This is going to be good. Oh, they quote PragerU. They quote Prager University. Oh, that's so bad. That is so bad. They're quoting PragerU. Oh my God. They've got so much in here that is killing me. It is killing me. Complete information. And they just, this is an insane amount of word salad. It's absolute word salad. It's words. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Let's see if they have it here. Okay. This is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Let me see if I can zoom in on this thing here. Give me a second. And I'm looking for something in particular. Give me just a second, see if I can go back and find it. Because it was the most funniest thing that I've ever seen. It is back. Nope, that's not it. It is. Say back and back and back. Well, where did it go? I just had it pulled up a minute ago. That's there. Here it is. Here it is. This is their member agreement. Their member agreement. Okay. It is hilarious. It is going to make you laugh your damn mind off. All right. This is what they want you to mail to them. Comes now, print your full legal birth name legibly. Who desires to join the fellowship in the Ministry of Sovereign Education and Defense Ministry? In consideration of the valuable information services education offered by the ministry, I declare my consent to abide unconditionally with this here agreement by any one or more of the following means: either contacting, requesting, obtaining, participating, signing up, downloading, requesting, or making a donation, signing up or submitting or using any of the material saying that you are signing up for this. Well, Shizzy is not signing up for shite. Just so you know, I do not consent. My status and standing in joining the ministry by the above methods, I do declare that I believe in God. I put service into God and his laws found in his holy book above self, man, and any other secular government. Oh my God. I put service to God and his laws, more importantly, his holy book. I consider justice and truth more important than personal profits. I am not a tax protester, tax denier, tax defier, or sovereign citizen, which are all convenient stereotypes and labels that advantage the government at my expense. Rather, I'm a crime fighter who seeks to enforce the law, preserve the requirements for express, written, fully informed consent of the governed and the origin of all that just civil authority of government according to the Declaration of Independence. Consensus factor legend. No, that's not what that means. Consent makes the law. A contract of civil law is a law between the parties which can acquire force only by consent. Bouvier's maxims of law. Good Lord. I am not anti-government, but rather pro-self-government under the authority of only God's laws. I regard this as an essential element of my religious practices and beliefs. Yes. This is the SOB set documents that all of these folks have been believing. If you read this stuff, it is the same garbage that any one of these SOB spits are spitting out. I'm a statutory, non-resident, non-person in respect to the national, but not federal government, and a transient foreigner on the earth. Serious. The status is a product of the following: the fact that I cannot have and do not have a statutory civil status on federal territory because I am not physically present within, domiciled within, presenting an artificial entity domiciled within, or consensually doing business there. Such civil statuses include person, individual, taxpayer, etc. They should have all been spit out. Yes. Yes, sounds like the same garbage the lady on MG Law was spewing last night. Oath to the ground crap. Exactly. Separation of powers between the states and the national government. Sovereign equals foreign. What? No, that's not how that works. Family garden fellowship. The separation between public and private. No, that's not how that works. These are like their own private documents. I mean, it is all word salad thrown at you. And they've got somebody sit down and wrote a freaking book and created all these documents. And I can guarantee you, none of these are legally binding. And It's just like they're saying a domiciled citizen plus D of the United States described in 28 CFR subsections 1.02a, who has a requirement to file federal income tax return. The United States, as described therein, is defined in 26 USC subsection 7701, subsection A, part 9, and A, part 10, and includes no state of the union. See, you throw these things out there thinking that it really means something. All right, let's just pull one of these up here that they're talking about. This U.S. code that they're throwing up from Cornell Law School. All right, and that's just one of them. So, all right, the statutory U.S. person is defined. So if you're having to deal with people like that, this is where they're getting them from. When used in this title, where not otherwise distinctly expressed or manifestly incompatible with intent thereof. Person, the term person shall be construed to mean and include an individual, a trust, an estate, a partnership, association, company, or corporation. And then they go into what a partnership includes: a group, a pool, joint venture, other incorporated organization, which would include you as a person. Corporation, term corporation includes associations, joint stock companies, insurance companies. Domestic, the word domestic, when applied to a corporation partnership, means created organization in the United States under the law of the United States or any state, unless, in the case of partnership, the secretary provides otherwise by regulations. Foreign, the term foreign, when applied to corporation partnership, which is not domestic. Fiduciary means guardian, trustee, executor, administrator, receiver, conservator, or any person acting fiduciary capacity for any person. So it doesn't matter if you want to call yourself the fiduciary, stock, shareholder, United States, state, doesn't matter what you call yourself, you are considered a person. You are still considered an individual. They're throwing up the code. Yeah, makes sense. Of course. They're throwing up the code, like more like barfing it up. They are not saying exactly what they think that they're saying. And this is why it really is difficult to sit here and argue with a soft sit, because they're willfully being pains in the asses. They're what they call a paper terrorist. They do this to try to trip you up in some way, shape, or form. And they're not. They're tripping themselves up because they don't know the law, because they've been quoting things from websites like this that don't give you exactly what it means. They're trying to change what it means. And if you actually want to read these kinds of things, you can do that. You could pull these things up, but most of the guys that are, and women that are not reading these, they're going down, they're spewing all the same garbage without actually digging into it or even understanding what it says. And it's almost, if you ever watch one of them, it sounds like they're trying to figure it out while they're talking with the judge. And judge is going, nah, this ain't going to fly. It ain't going to happen.
All I did was do this right here on the chest to push her away from me, because I don't want to be beat by another man.
All right. Logan Parker.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Parker, you've been charged in Butler County District Court, case number 2024 CR 512 with aggravated domestic battery.
Well, and make sure you go sub up to Old Squishy's Garden.
Strangulation or choking. It's alleged that on or about the 10th day of November 2024 in Butler County, Kansas, you did knowingly and in a rude, insulting, or angry manner impede the normal breathing or circulation of the blood by applying pressure on the throat, neck, or chest of a person, to wit, Ava Scarlett Parker, with whom the offender is involved or has been involved in a dating relationship or is a family or household member. Mm-hmm. This is what's known as aggravated domestic battery.
Yep.
As charged, it's a level 7 person felony. The state statutes 215414B1 with C2 as the penalty provisions. It is on the non-drug grid under the Kansas sentencing guidelines since it is a felony. Those felonies range from 1 to 10, 1 being the highest, 10 being the lowest. This is a 7. So the sentencing range is 11 months up to 34 months with the Department of Corrections, depending on your criminal history, and up to a $300,000 fine or restitution.
Yeah.
If you do not have any prior person felonies, you may be presumptive probation so long as you aren't on probation or parole at the time of this offense. For today, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. I'm going to set your case for a
welcome
court date and make sure you have an attorney and a bond set.
Yeah.
So it looks like your judge that is assigned is Judge Hart. He will.
May I say something? May I say something?
If you really want to.
Don't say much about your case because you're being recorded and the prosecutor can use that against you.
Well, Ava is a male and laid hands on me first.
Okay.
I was slapped open-handed and punched and jabbed in the throat. All I did was do this right here on the chest to push her away from me because I don't want to be beat by another man.
What?
I don't think anybody in the world would ever want to, especially I'm getting taken away from my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter.
Oh.
And I'm just, I don't know why that I am getting charged for it when she was the one that assaulted me. Yes, her mom over the phone called the cops, but they didn't even take my side of the story or my brother that was standing right there trying to help me.
Okay. So what I'll do is make sure if you can't
for you.
Hang on. If you can't afford an attorney, I will appoint one to represent you. You need to speak with that attorney who will get the police reports. They can file a motion for self-defense, and Judge Hart can listen to evidence at the preliminary hearing to determine whether or not you acted in self-defense. And if he believes you did, he can dismiss the charge. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't think that's going to happen.
But you're just going to have to be a little patient here. So he's your judge. The court date for you is January the 6th at 2:30. Are you presently working?
No, ma'am.
No. Why not? Well, because I'm in jail. How am I supposed to?
I'm going to appoint James or Jim Watts to represent you. He's an attorney in town. He is very busy, but he tries to go to the jail every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. He is leaving town for a bit, which may affect him being at the jail on those particular days in December. But he will be appointed, and the county attorney will provide him with the case materials, and then he'll visit with you about the case and go from there. Now, with regard to bond, at the time of this incident, when you were arrested, where were you living?
I live out at Southwest Pickerel Road, 19777. But I was staying with my brother on Broadway in Augusta.
I don't think that's going to help.
I don't know his full address. I was just staying the night there because my wife was sleeping with someone that called rape on her, and I was upset about it. So I went to my brother's to relax and to try to get in a better stability. And then when she showed up and I asked to get my grandfather's speaker,
hey, Shelly.
That's when she escalated to pushing me and to throwing
So
keys
is this
Shirley.
Ava, your wife?
Good to see you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ava's the lady.
And I know I call her a she, but she is a he.
Okay.
I've not gone through the surgery all the way yet.
The charge is not gender specific, so that's fine. So what I'm trying to figure out here is you cannot live with Ava, or be in the same household or have any contact with Ava while this case is pending. So where will you live?
If
I'm sorry,
I
Tim.
can be bonded out today, I will be
That's no
going
fun.
to my grandparents to stay there
And
with
where
my
do they,
daughter.
and where do they live? Okay.
Douglas, Kansas.
Do they have custody of your daughter?
I have full custody.
Is Ava involved with this child in any way?
She has helped me raise her on and off because she never stayed there. She cheated on me 3 times in the past. So we broke up several times.
Cheated on you.
My daughter is mine and Hauser's.
With him, it's not a
which
her, it's a
Hauser
him.
is in Wichita, and I have full custody over Olivia.
Okay.
Wow.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, Jesus.
Why can you not seem to get to work?
Well,
I tried going when
We're
Ava
getting it
came
in,
back to
putting it in the paper.
Kansas. I went and stayed with her in Wellington, and my boss would not come pick me up like he said he would for the 2 days beforehand.
Eek.
All right.
Eek.
Well, I'm going to set a bond here. How long have your grandparents lived in Butler County?
Way more than 23 years.
All right.
Jeez.
Recommendation on bond, Mr. Regier, in light of the fact that the next court date will be January the 6th at 2:30, 2025.
Your Honor, notwithstanding the next date of the hearing, the state is recommending, besides the strict no contact order previously referred to by the court, 5,000 cash or surety. As previously observed by the court, count 1 of the information is charged as an aggravated person felony.
And said, no effing way.
It is also the state's
Diane.
understanding that at the time of the incident, pursuant to page 2 of the affidavit, the defendant admitted to placing his hands on the throat area of the victim, as well as demonstrated the same act to law enforcement. It would also appear, based off page 2 of the affidavit, law enforcement observed a noticeable red mark on the throat area of the victim, as well as the victim being unchoked to where the victim was unable to breathe, based off of the affidavit. And it would appear that this is a case where a witness did observe the alleged altercation on a video call, specifically including the defendant jumping on the victim while the video call was active. So based off the totality of the circumstances, the state does respectfully submit the 5,000 cash or surety with the strict no contact order is appropriate.
Okay.
I don't want contact.
Set your bond at 2,500 cash or surety, no contact whatsoever with Ava, not by phone, not by social media, not through third parties, not writing, no contact with Ava whatsoever. And you're going to have to see if your grandparents can loan you about $250, $300. And I'm going to order that when you get released, you get a job right away.
Start working.
I have been looking for one.
Okay. And you have a court date, you have a judge, you have a bond. You have a no contact order. Is there anything?
No, definitely not Grinder, but
I've appointed an attorney for you.
Looking
Is
for
there
this
anything
dude
else today, Mr. Regier?
Not from the state's perspective, Your Honor.
Okay.
Hey, Heidi.
Mr. Parker, did you have a question?
Yes. Can I
Good to
put
see you,
a form on Ava so she can't come near me or my daughter or my grandparents' house? Because she is the one that contacts me every time and the one that harasses me.
Okay, well, you are free to look into protection orders and see if you qualify. I can't give you any legal advice or talk to an attorney about getting a restraining order. But there is a no contact order.
Dude's chasing me
in
down.
the criminal case, but it's true that no contact order would result in you going to jail, not necessarily Ava.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. And she is the
Get-
one
get
that
rid of that
contacts
person.
me. I do not
Get rid of
want
them.
nothing to do with her.
Okay, so, then I would block calls, I would report it to the police, I would, talk to someone about
Tell
getting
him
some
no.
kind of
Tell
restraining
him
order.
no.
And I did that beforehand, about 4 months ago, and the police officer said there's nothing they can do because that she was living in Colorado, but she posted all over Facebook that I was assaulting her and stuff when I was living here.
Okay, you need to talk to an attorney, or you need to go online and look at how you can file a protection order and see if you qualify. Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
all right, thank you.
Crazy stuff. Wow. Let's get on to our next one. And then I'll read you another soft sit line. It'll be good. It'll be really good. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Here we go.
All right, sir, I'm detecting a bit of an attitude, and I've had a bit of problem with you all day long. I'd suggest you kind of take a deep breath and try to get rid of the attitude, because then if you don't, you may cause me to have to get an attitude too. So,
Well, likewise, take that deep breath, do the same thing. You know what I mean?
excuse me?
I said same, do the same thing. Take that deep breath. Goose fraba.
All right, Mr. Phillips, do you know what my title is?
I do, but that doesn't give you the right to belittle me or anybody else in your court. You know,
All right,
you have a code of conduct.
okay,
You have to follow.
I am finding your
That's not what you want to be telling the judge. That's a bad idea. This judge you don't mess with. Hell no, Tammy, you don't mess with this judge. She ain't gonna put up with that crap. Uh-huh. She's gonna lay down the law on him. Say, son, I don't think you know who you're talking to. Uh-huh. He's about to find out.
conduct contemptuous because you're interfering and disrespecting the process and the court. You are hereby fined for direct contempt of court, $100 cash payable in 1 week to the clerk of the district court.
That's fine.
And if I have any more problem with you, it's going to go up a little bit more. And if I have any more problem with you, you can go to jail over it.
I know this is being recorded, so I would like a copy of this because I'm going to take this to an attorney. That's fine.
$500 cash for direct court. And
fine.
I am ordering you to surrender yourself by 2:30 today to the Butler County District Court.
I cannot do that.
Well,
Because
then
you're
I'll
making me.
send a sheriff out to get you.
You have been delaying the court the whole time.
All right,
nagging
I've given you
other
my
people.
order. Disconnect him from the call. He better be here or the sheriff will go out.
I will not be there.
You refuse to tell me your address?
It is none of your business. You will be informed through my attorney.
I think we're ready for William Wayne Phillips and Attorney Zolator.
Okay, let me get them in here.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's not how you play with a judge. Judge wasn't playing. She wasn't pissed. She's just like, you're disrespecting the court. We're not going to play that shit here at all. We got something for you. They went and arrested him. Uh-huh.
All right, we are on the record in 2024 TR 1376, State of Kansas versus William Wayne Phillips. Please announce appearances.
Jared McGeer on behalf of the state.
And please, court, Mr. Williams appears in person with counsel Kevin Zolator.
This matter is set for bench trial today. And Mr. Regier, I see, has subpoenaed Trooper Andrew Lieber, who has been with us since 1:30. Now then, Mr. Zolator, does your client still wish to exercise his right to a trial?
No, Your Honor, we're requesting a continuance.
And for what reason?
We were just recently retained, I think, a few weeks ago.
Well, this case originated with some kind of traffic stop, May 21st of 2024. The defendant had first appearance August 14th of 24. He appeared before Judge Ricky in custody September 11th, 24. He appeared before Judge Lee September 20th, 2024. Each time, this time he requested a continuance and the Chief Judge Ricky denied it. No, I'm sorry. Judge Lee denied it and set it for bench trial today before me. That was September 20th, the trial was set. The defendant told me back on August 14th he was hiring an attorney, which he has. And I show an entry of appearance filed October 24th.
Davy Jones Tentacle Bear.
We're set for trial on charges of speeding 86 and a 65.
Yeah, that'll get you in trouble.
We are also set for trial. Let me look at the amended complaint filed August 1st, see if there's anything still remaining. Count 2, driving while suspended after a prior conviction, a Class A misdemeanor. Mr. Regier, your response?
Your Honor, for the sole purpose of it, well, Your Honor, forgive me, Your Honor. I will, if I may, respectfully request 30 seconds.
Granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, your response to the request for continuance, Mr. Regier.
Your Honor, for the sole purpose, if indeed the continuance is being requested, other than recently retained, perhaps there are some other reasons, which I'm sure counsel can defer to the court better than I can. I would advise the court, in accordance with my duty of candor as an officer of the court, that I am not aware if discovery has been provided in this case. Certainly, legally, that is something counsel for the defense would be entitled to. However, to refresh the court's recollection.
You don't have to refresh my recollection, counsel. He entered his appearance October 24th, 2024. You can't tell me if you sent him discovery?
Your Honor, for my understanding is that issue is still outstanding. So
I don't want it outstanding. I want you to check your file and tell me if he's had discovery and when he got it.
Your Honor.
Or Mr. Zolator, you're an officer of the court. Do you have discovery and when did you get it?
Your Honor, I do not have discovery in my file with me, but I am not going to advise the court that I've not received it without checking the office file, which I can pull up now.
Meanwhile, Mr. Regier, if you have an answer from your end, I'd appreciate that.
And while I look, I think Mr. Regier is referencing other reasons. Obviously, we were just recently retained. I haven't had an ability to discuss with Mr. Regier possible resolution short of a trial. But you know, all that I thought was somewhat implied in my statement that we were just recently retained. I don't think we've had sufficient time to do all the things normally that are done before a trial. But I am pulling it up now and I can tell you if we've received discovery or not. It does not look like on my end, Your Honor, we have received discovery.
Mr. Regier, how long does it take your office to get discovery? I mean, October 24th, he requested it and it's now November, what, 13th? How much longer do you think you'll need to get that to him by computer?
Your Honor, under these circumstances, the state does not object to this matter being set over.
Well, my question was, and I don't know if Mr. Zolator is the office attorney, I don't think he is, but we've had this issue before and I have repeatedly ordered discovery go to the attorney and what was it, 128 day? No. I can't remember the number of days that your office, even though I had ordered him multiple times to receive that, had still not sent him full discovery. I hope we're not going to get caught in another one of those situations where I order it and it's not done. And I'm concerned that now I'm hearing that after all this time, he hadn't even had it sent to him. So do you have any assurance better than what we've had in that other case that you'll send it to him, Mr. Regier? frankly don't recall who the attorney was that we were having that problem.
Yeah, and from my end, Your Honor, and I've never had problems with Mr. Rieger getting me discovery. My request was not based on, and I understand the court's frustration. I'm not trying to play both sides. We haven't had it. I wasn't complaining about that at this time. Frankly, I don't think a trial is going to be necessary if I get discovery and I'm able to talk to Mr. Rieger, be more efficient that way. So that's my request. And I don't have any prior, I don't know what case you're referring to, but I would expect that I would get it in a short amount of time.
Well, Mr. Regier, do you recall which case I'm talking about?
Your Honor, not by number, although based off my records, it would appear that my office has communicated with Mr. Zolotor's office as recently as
the judge is going after the prosecutor on this one.
Within the last 24 hours on the outstanding discovery issue. I would anticipate that being resolved in a timely fashion.
So we've had this bench trial set all this time, and they finally had a communication with him about discovery the evening before. Yes, I am frustrated. This is not the way cases are handled or to be handled.
It's garbage.
Particularly in this
didn't get
case,
discovery in.
Where the defendant has been told by multiple judges that we would have a trial. Judge Rickey said he said it. Let me get my judge. Judge Rickey told him he was setting it for jury trial with me, and no, I strike that. Judge Lee told him it was going to be set for jury trial. This has just been, he's seen 3 judges over the course of a number of months. He's told each of us he was going to hire his attorney. And now we come in here after he was specifically told to be ready to go to trial today, and he's not. And the reason you all know, I'm sure, that I am expressing frustration with this defendant is because he cannot do what courts tell him to do, according to my experience with him. And let's put that camera over there a little bit further so he can participate in these hearings. This defendant has told me in no uncertain ways that he doesn't have to give me what I ask for. He won't do it. He does not have to appear when I tell him to, and he has told me he won't appear when I tell him to. He has called me names, referred to me in a negative light, and he just does not seem to appreciate the judicial authority of me, of Chief Judge Rickey, or Judge Lee. He does not do anything any of us tell him to do, except I am impressed he shows up today with an attorney, one of which I know is very respectable and does do what he says he's going to do. So we are making progress.
To that end, Your Honor, at some point, my client would like to address
the other issue.
No, to address you.
All right. Well, at this time, I will grant the continuance at the defendant's request, but it's going to be the only trial continuance because I feel like this defendant has just been trampling over the judicial system for months now, just literally trampling over it. And I don't know, Mr. Zolotor, if you've seen the videos from earlier hearings, but if you haven't, you really need to.
We have.
Right.
Well, spank that.
This case will be continued. When's our next bench trial? Or does he want a jury trial? I have a jury trial in February.
Your Honor, I haven't discussed that with him. I am representing to the court that I do not think a trial will be necessary. If I must elect, I will have to go with a jury trial at this time because I have not talked to him about waiving his constitutional right, which I think is guaranteed because it's a Class A misdemeanor, not a Class B. If we set this for a status, I think we can probably get this resolved. I can't guarantee that. If you don't want to do that, I would request the jury trial set in February.
I will set it for jury trial, but you'll need, of course, make the written demand and so forth. Because I just don't want to let him, of course, like I said, he's got you now, and you're not prone to play the games that he has. So, all right. When's our next available status conference? Not until January?
And I apologize, Your Honor. I'm not available that date either.
Okay.
But if we can resolve this, I certainly will try to get a plea date before then.
Okay. Well, let's set it for pre-trial February 3rd, 2025 at 9 a.m., and that will be by Zoom. The pretrial will be by Zoom. But of course, the bench trial or the jury trial that I'm setting will be February 5th and 6th, and that will be live at the courthouse. And the defendant, as condition of bond, is ordered to appear both dates and time. He needs to appear at the courthouse. I cannot trust him not to appear at the courthouse. So make sure he's here at least at the courthouse. And if you want to be with him in person, that's fine too.
I understand she doesn't trust him.
Okay, so continued on your bond with those conditions. Anything else before we get to the other point at hand?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, now the defendant was found in contempt multiple times.
And here it comes.
And still wouldn't quit disrespecting and disobeying the court until eventually he was ordered to reappear later the same day in person at 2:30 p.m. He told me he wasn't going to. He wouldn't tell me where he lived, where he worked, blatantly refused to answer any questions of his whereabouts or anything I asked of him. He continued to smoke during the Zoom, even though he'd been told not to. He continued to eat and take an enormous amount of drinks. And he continued to get in and out of his truck and walk around the job site, take his hard hat on, take it off, walk all about, all during other defendants' hearings. And then when his case was called, that's when he started becoming blatantly, verbally disrespectful and telling the court how to do its job and not do its job. Throughout the docket, he was highly disrespectful and disruptive. He would talk over the court. He would make rude, personal, insulting, and disrespectful comments about and to the court. And ultimately, he was found in contempt to the point that he'd earned $500 in fines, and he was told to get that paid within a set time that he did not. He was told to appear later that day at 2:30 in person, which he did not. And then he saw Judge Rickey, Chief Judge David Rickey, on September 11th, and Judge Rickey found that he still had not paid the $500, and he gave him 1 week to get it paid. And in fact, he gave him an OR bond.
Yes, she is.
Which would have made it easier for him to pay the
Just going after him
contempt within 1 week.
Hell no, you ain't playing that shit no more.
He didn't pay it. He saw Judge Lee September 20th. Judge Lee said, well, he'll leave the contempt up to me when he sees me again. But he still hasn't paid it. Once again, he has totally disregarded court orders. So let's first deal with the consequences of his not paying, as multiple courts have ordered him to do. Then I want to address his direct contempt of not appearing when he was told to do later that day of August 14th. Now, whether we address Judge Rickey's orders that he violated, that we may postpone and let Judge Rickey decide if he wants to pursue that or if we want to go after him.
And absolutely. Yeah, Old Squishy's link is posted up there in my pinned up there in the chat. It says, if you appreciate the work to find, edit, publish those videos, please like, sub, and share with others. All those free things really help his channel. So, help out Old Squishy's garden if you haven't. It is always appreciated that you help him out. That way he brings us this kind of stuff that we can share with you. Yeah, this guy is going to get hammered, so hard, so fast.
At a later date. But right now I want to focus on his contempt of court, where he has not paid the $500. That's another act of contempt, and is not appearing as he told me he wasn't going to do and didn't, even though I ordered it. So let's start with why he hasn't paid, followed by why he didn't follow my order to appear. Counsel?
Well, first, Your Honor, I do know that he would like to apologize to you if you'd allow him to do that. And he doesn't have an explanation that's going to justify his conduct, nor is he going to try to. But I know he wants to apologize. I mean, the money's one thing. He doesn't have a lot of money, but his conduct is something he can control no matter what. I do, if you allow him the opportunity to address you, I think we'd like to start there if that's okay with your owner.
Well, normally I appreciate a kind apology, but frankly, I'm not sure it's going to be sincere, and I don't want it unless it's sincere, Mr. Zolator. I sense if he makes an apology, it's going to be because his attorney told him that he needs to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Your Honor, I would throw it at your feet, let him apologize, and whether you find it sincere or not, I mean, I can't make that judgment for you. I think you know that, but I'm not trying to speak for you. I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to do other than let him. I mean, I will stand away and let him make his remarks.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Phillips.
I would just like to say I am very sorry for my actions that day. Again, me apologizing doesn't give my actions justification in any means or in any grounds. I disrespected you, your court, your officer here, the DA, and I've been under a lot of stress working out of town, very many hours with very little pay, and there's no excuse for it. I just more bad things happening compiling, and it all came out in the very wrong place, wrong time with the wrong person. And I am very sincere in my apologies. Not when all this happened, I wanted to apologize, and even if you go ahead and read the other cases, when the other judge sentenced me when I was in Butler County, I was even apologizing then. I think I had the same district attorney there where I was trying to apologize, at least to you, if not to you, to someone that can actually hear the apology without someone sitting next to me trying to say, maybe he had, someone tell him to do it or whatever. I am very sorry. I mean, my actions are out of line, and there is
he seems very
no
sincere.
excuse for it. I'm truly sorry for disrespecting you personally and the court as well.
Well, I think the whole day of August 14th started off bad because I have a note that before court even, you had called one of the clerks and informed her you weren't coming to court because you were working in Independence, Kansas. And she explained to you that you could appear by Zoom and gave you the codes. And we weren't sure based on your conversation that you were going to appear, but you did appear by Zoom, and then the rest of it went from there. So why did you not strike that? I don't.
I'm about to be ashamed.
You still have not paid the $500, and no matter how sorry you are, your conduct was outrageous, and it's not going to be just excused. You've had since August 14th to pay that. You gave me the impression that you were a powerful employee of a well-to-do company and you were making good money, that you emphasized you were the supervisor. And you showed me by walking around that you did have a crew there. Now you're saying you're underpaid. Are you going to offer the underpayment as justification for not following my order or Chief Judge Ricky's to get that paid?
She's asking you why you haven't paid.
No, Your Honor. When we were in court that day, you said I had to pay it or do 3 days in jail. And that's the whole reason. I mean, if you go back in the Zoom videos,
was that your understanding?
That was my understanding. That was my sincere understanding.
Look at her
So
face.
when I went back in front of that judge, I was asking the same questions, like, do I still have to pay this, or what's going on? Because it was 3 days, I did 6. I just don't understand. And he said, we're gonna let you decide that, because I'm still willing to pay it, but I was my understanding.
Excuse me, sir, that is what the third judge said. Chief Judge Ricky told you September 11th, you would pay it within 1 week. He didn't give you any jail time. And I don't think I did either, because I told you to be here that day at 2:30. And you didn't show up or pay.
Busted.
So I don't buy that you misunderstood, and that somewhere are you saying you think you paid it because you got arrested and had to serve a little time before the judge saw you?
Well, yeah, I thought it was like.
So you not only misunderstood me, you misunderstood Chief Judge Ricky when he said you
Oh.
pay that 500 within the week.
Just
Is that a yes? Is that a no?
Well, I didn't know if I was waiting to see if I could. Well, yes, because it was the 5, and then he said something about $1,000, and I wasn't even asking then. I'm confused.
And Your Honor, I certainly can help him understand the situation. I can tell the court that he's done 6 days, which wasn't part of the order. It was money, and he's done 6 days, which I think is, a bigger sanction than $500. He's certainly telling me, and I know he's got someone here with him, that they can get that paid, and they
More
will
about
pay
those
it.
6
It
days
was,
to come?
I mean, you can judge
Oh,
the sincerity, judging
that's
it.
not
Doesn't
gonna
sound
be
like you're
good.
buying it. That's fine. I understand that. But this all resulted from his behavior that day. And I hope at least I did find that sincere, but maybe you don't, of the way his conduct. And he can't excuse that. The money, it sounds like he was confused whether you buy that or not. I don't know. But he did do 6 days on a driving while suspended case. It normally carries a 2-day minimum. And that's, well, yeah, but actual serve time normally anyways.
All right, we won't get into that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's clear
Don't
that
get
I
into it
ordered
with the
him to
judge.
pay $500, and it is well past the date he was to pay it. I think it's clear Judge Ricky told him to pay it. It's
Pay
not
it.
what he thinks, it's what the judge says.
Well,
So is he gonna pay that today, counsel?
He does not have $500 today. It doesn't sound like.
I could pay something.
Can you pay anything?
I could pay something.
Well, you're able to pay a pretty prestigious attorney there, and you're able to talk the judge into giving you $1,000 OR bond so that you can pay it, and you still haven't paid it. I question your sincerity if you intend to pay it. I thought somebody was implying you had someone there to help you pay it.
No, I was talking. If you can give me a second, Your Honor.
All right.
going to jail. Yeah. Hey, Snow, how's it going?
Your Honor, I'm being told they can make a $200 payment today.
And the other
And then
30?
they can pay that within, if you give them 30 days, they'd have the other 300 paid off.
The time he spent in jail was for failing to appear at a designated court date. It doesn't address necessarily any subsequent contempt. I will allow him to pay the $200 today with the remaining 3 to be paid in full by
Don't play with this judge.
what date did we give him? February?
doesn't
I'm not gonna
play.
give him that long. Within
Know
30
this by
days, he
now.
must have the 300 paid in full. That means it must be paid by December 13th, 2024, or I will find him in further contempt.
Oof.
And then I want to address his failure to
Pay that shit.
follow my
Don't play with this judge.
instructions to appear at the courthouse later that day. I will hold off on that issue until I see how he behaves from this day forward on this case and whether he pays as ordered. And this is the last one. He's going to be doing more contempt jail time if he doesn't get that paid as ordered in 30 days.
Understood.
Okay?
Wow.
So apparently he will stay out on his $1,000 OR bond that he convinced Judge Ricky to issue if he had that paid within a week.
Yeah, you should be paying that stuff
And he
off.
didn't.
Don't play.
Anything
Judge
else,
ain't gonna play with
counsel,
you.
that we need to address?
Not for purposes of today's hearing, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Phillips, are you still employed by that same company?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, why don't you tell me that since you wouldn't before?
Yes, ma'am. The same people that are doing your guys' water system here.
Okay, and where are you living now? Oh, stop. You're on YouTube. Is it the same address you put on that OR bond? That Judge Mickey had you sign?
I think I have a copy, Your Honor. Give me a second.
Yeah, it is. It's the same one. Yes.
Judgment.
You don't want to.
Now,
It's my head shake.
Trooper Lieber, I did not ask you, and you've sat here all this time since 1:30 or before. Are you available for jury trial if it goes in February? Because if I need to set it for jury trial, it will be February 4th and 5th. We haven't gotten there, but if I need to, are you available?
Yes, ma'am. We'll make it work.
All right. Well, thank you for your patience and dedication to this case, for being here. I'm going to let you go at this time unless Mr. Regier needs you for anything else.
Pay the fine tip shit.
Not to my knowledge, Judge. I believe this is the last case on this afternoon's docket.
All right. And do you have anything else on this matter, Mr. Regier?
Not to my knowledge, Judge. I believe the court has already addressed the prior goings on in this case far back.
All right. That's enough of that. I'm thinking you guys need, I'm thinking you boys and girls
With the deputy, you just
nice
said 4th and 5th to jury trial. We had written down the 5th and 6th. We just want to make
It
sure.
is the 5th and 6th, Trooper Lieber. It is the 5th and 6th.
I'm going to give you a nice enlightenment.
Now,
I'm thinking nice enlightenment for you guys. There's only one person that can do that. That is going to be the man, the myth, the legend, pardon me, the one and the only Larry Dickham.
Okay, Larry Dickham here today to teach you guys, specifically the fathers, a lesson today on how to properly receive your Father's Day gift. That's assuming that you is a father of a child or other species of animal. Now, typically Father's Day, the fathers be getting some bullshit gifts. We all know it. We all see it. We just sit there on the couch and smile and be like, happy times, whatever. I'm going to show you today how to properly use the gift that you might get on Father's Day. Let's say you get something such as something useless as a step ladder. Now, a step ladder can be used if you get it because you plan on fixing some shit that you probably have broke around the house. But if somebody else give it to you, that means they want you to fix some shit that they done broke. So what you do is you take this step ladder and you say, oh, this is such a nice gift. I surely appreciate this. But in all the meantime, you planning on taking this step ladder at a 95-degree angle and you wrap this motherfucker around their head of whoever gave it to you. How dare they give you something to fix their shit on Father's Day? It's supposed to be your day, but they gave you a step ladder as a present to fix some shit that they done broke. You take this step ladder, you get a good stance like this here. Make sure you get it at a 95-degree angle, and you take this shit and you wrap it thoroughly around their face until it bends at a new angle at the ladder. LD out. Stay safe.
Oh God. I love it. I love Larry Dickham. He puts a smile on my face every damn time. Oh. Larry Dickham. No buffering here. Newport though. It doesn't matter. Larry Dickham's the man. He's the man. Let's see, Mama. It doesn't count. My youngest daughter was hit by her birth father in this termination case. Oof. Sissy, do you like red green? I don't know what red green is. I don't know what that means. Best part was your laugh. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate it. More laughs. Oh, you want some more laughs? Oh, we've got laughs. Oh, we've got some laughs. got some laughs. Oh, do we have the laughs? They are coming. They are coming. We're going to be making some fun. All right. Who wants to put a smile on their face? Who wants to hear? Who wants to hear? And the reason that I put this up the way that I did is because we get a lot of folks that want to come in here and they want to be disruptors, big disruptors. All right. Whenever they do that, I have to hold back and not show my true intentions, because we get people from the two fleas that want to come in here. What they want to see is if I'm talking about a certain case. Oh, they really do. And see, I hold off on it because I like to make it seem like I'm really not talking about anything that would interest them. But find folks that stick around, spread the word to your friends and family and the kind that you care about, that yes, we do talk about the hail stuff. And we do have more stuff from there. Oh yes, we do. Oh yes, we do. We have more stuff. Trouble just arrived. Good to see you, Tracy Spencer. Good to see you. Good to see you. Lowe's red green. Lowe's red green. So as I said, we have more. We have more hail stuff that came out. And I do this because there's those folks that they have nothing better to do than come over and try trolling and try to see what kind of stuff I'm covering. And well, we like to keep it close to the chest, as I like to say. We like to keep it close to the chest. That way we don't have the trolls rolling in. Driving home from work, just wanted to say hello. Hey, little D, good to see you, girl. Glad you're doing well. Glad you're doing well. Yes. We have more fun. We have more fun. So give me just a second so I can pull those things up. It is going to be a little bit of the federal pleadings that were put out there. And I'm going to read you another letter to Bubbles. Yeah, see, nice. That night, got to be smooth about this. Got to be smooth about this one. See, you got to hit them whenever they're not expecting it. Got to hit it whenever they're not expecting it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me pull this bad boy up for you. All right. John M. Cook and plaintiff Jeremy B. Hales. This is the final scheduling order and mediation referral. Currently before the court is parties Rule 26F report filed on October 29th, 2024. The court held status conference on November 12th, 2024, and discussed the matter of scheduling with the parties consistent with the parties Rule 26F report, and the discussion held on November 12, 2024. The court orders the following with respect to any matters not addressed herein. The initial scheduling order, Doc 24, remains in effect. Number 2, the parties have until November 15th, that's tomorrow, to provide Rule 26A1 mandatory disclosures. So tomorrow, be expecting some disclosures. The parties have until December 18th, 2024 to join additional parties or amend the pleadings. So if they're going to join additional parties, they have until December 18th to join them into this case. Number 4, the deadline for filing any motions to compel discovery is April 7th, 2025. So that gives them a lot of time to disclose any discovery that they want, or to compel discovery which means if they wanted to come question anybody in this thing, then they would have to file a motion to compel discovery. The deadline for completion of all discovery, which means they have to have all discovery done by April 7th, 2025, which means that anybody that the Hales wanted to add into this suit and compel discovery, they could do so. Anybody that Bubbles wants to put into this suit and compel, they would have to do so. Slightly younger than Shizzy, and I know who the Red Green Show is. I don't, sorry. I'm older than both of you. 72 years young. Damn, CJ. Good job. Good job. That's what we like to hear. Dispositive motions and Daubert motions shall be filed no later than April 28th, which would be like your responses to those and Daubert motions. The final pre-trial conference shall be held on August 11th, 2025. And almost a damn year is how far the pretrial conference will be. And the jury trial would be scheduled for the August 25th, 2025. So in August of next year, well, remember we're in November, just in 10 months, they're going to be holding a jury trial. It will be held at the United States District Courthouse, 1 North Palafox Street, Pensacola, Florida. The parties must mediate this case in accordance with the following procedures. Now, the judge is going to be very, very specific. Well, that's good. You're younger than me. Good job, Tammy. You're born in 52. That's right. Good time of the year. Parties must mediate this case in accordance with the following procedures. The parties are directed to select a mediator certified by the Supreme Court of Florida and as a circuit court mediator or a person otherwise mutually agreed upon to both parties. Now, the judge isn't going to play around with this crap. The judge is going to be very specific and say, hey, if you don't get a circuit court mediator, then you're going to have to get somebody that's going to mediate that. And it could easily be another attorney that would mediate it. But if it was another attorney, it would have to be somebody that they agree upon. Now, in my wife uses, she's mediated cases before. She's also had to have people come in to mediate a case before. And mediator, their only job is to make sure that nobody steps over the bounds. They will discuss things between the two parties, make sure they understand what they're agreeing to, mediate, that kind of shit. And that's all that it is. But they have to have this done, and it has to be consented by the parties. Unless otherwise agreed, the fee of the mediator will be paid equally by both parties. So just so you understand this, whenever a mediator gets paid, they're going to charge by the hour. Okay? So if you've got some broke ass bitch like Lynette, now she's paying to get her fence put up, but she ain't paying our attorney as far as we can tell. All right. So if she's getting a fence put up, she's getting that thing slapped up there. That's cheap compared to what a mediator charges. All right. Now, if they're gonna be having this mediation with this sit down, a mediator, that could take an entire day. Now, just so you know, that mediator is getting paid by the hour every time that they're there to mediate a case. They will be busting their ass to try to get that done because the last thing they want to do is be sitting there all day. They don't mind getting paid. Sometimes it's a flat fee that they get paid. I had asked my wife, she would tell me exactly how a mediator gets paid. But generally, they're going to have a base amount. And that could be if you want court transcripts, if you want to have all of those files typed in by a court reporter, or by someone that's going to do a transcript of the mediation, you got to pay for that too. And it will be divided equally between the parties. So if it's $20,000 to have a mediator, I don't think it'll be that much because usually mediators are not that expensive. But for example, it's $20,000, she's got to come up with half of that. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be that high. Sometimes mediators might charge $1,500 for the day or $1,500 base if it's going to be short, or if it's going to be contentious and somebody's going to be really difficult, they may charge them quite a bit more. But it's going to be required by both parties to split the fee on it. And the reason they do this is because it makes people go, I want to get this settled as quickly as possible. Both parties are wanting to do that. All right, that should be good now. Thank you very much for that, Tammy. It's just it's a power thing that I have to do. It should be much smoother now. So unless otherwise agreed, the fee of the mediator will be paid equally by the parties. Now, C, the first mediation conference must commence no later than January 18th, 2025, but it may commence at an earlier time. So you're welcome to get this stuff done early if you want to get this crap done and off your plate. You don't want to deal with it. You want to fix it up in the new year. Be good. Absolutely, absolutely. The mediator must set the initial mediation conference with due regard to schedules and other commitments of the parties and counsel, and may continue to adjourn the mediation conferences in his or her discretion within the time constraints set out in this order, which means they have to have it done by a specific time. Have to have it done at a specific time, but if they're just like, yeah, we're gonna have to take a break, we'll come back to this. You need to think about what you're willing to settle this case for. Now, they really want to get this case settled. They don't want to bring it before the court because that takes time, that takes money, and that can get rather expensive for the clients. The following persons must attend the mediation. Now, this is very important. This is very important that you understand what this means. The following people are required, they must be there at this mediation conference. Counsels of record, primarily responsible for this matter on behalf of any represented party. And in this particular case, you have Brucey Bruce, Bubbles, as I like to call him. And you also have that wonderful, wonderful Shuckett in there as attorneys. They both must be there. All parties that are involved in this. Now, though, some of this is standard language. In a case of a corporation, governmental entity, or other organizations or officer in his or her capacity, the party must attend through a representative having full authority. But being that they are individuals, it's required that both Lynette, John Crook, Jeremy Hales all show up that are involved in this. They are the parties. Now, that doesn't mean that I can show up, doesn't mean that anybody else can show up, because this case does not involve them. They're not a party to the case unless they're adjoined as party to the case. So if, say for example, that Brucey Bruce wants to come in and add me to the case, please don't, because that would be really stupid, because I would have nothing to offer you. But if he wanted to add me to the case, then he would have to have me subpoenaed. You have to have a deposition. My name would have to become part of defense prosecution. I would either be a defendant or a plaintiff. Otherwise, and so basically what it says is, unless the mediator directs otherwise, the parties by agreement may also waive the requirement that the intending representative's full authority to be settled without further consultation. Too funny, CJ, all of you. If a party is insured, like if this was an insurance claim and you had an insurer there, say for example, if in this lawsuit that Lynette had an insurance company that was handling a claim, an insurance claim, that she would have to have a representative of the insurer. Say it was State Farm was representing her in the civil suit. This judge is requiring that you have an attorney there or representative of State Farm. But she doesn't. So this really doesn't matter. And there's her discretion without the mediator, blah, blah, blah. Failure of any person. Now, this is very important for Bubbles. Failure of any person to attend the mediation conference as required, which means you will be there. If you do not show up, the result will be sanctions upon you. Yeah, will be paying sanctions. The parties must confer in advance of the submission of written materials to the mediator and must proceed in accordance with any agreement they reach or the instructions of the mediator. So this is also important. It's not like Jeremy can come in and throw in some bullshit at the third hour. He can't do that. This right here would mean that if John Crook or Lynette want to file something and say, oh, he said X, Y, or Z about me, you didn't have it in by the deadline, tough shit. They're not letting it in. They are saying, in the absence of agreement of the parties or instructions from the mediator, no written submissions to the mediator required, but either party may submit materials as it deems appropriate, which the mediator may consider as he or she deems appropriate. So it would behoove you to not go after them. The mediator will have authority to control the procedures to be followed in mediation, may adjourn the mediation conference and set times for reconvening, and may suspend or terminate mediation whenever, in the opinion of the mediator, the matter is not appropriate for further mediation. So there is always a possibility that the mediator sides with Lynette and says, hey, we're not seeing any proof of this. This isn't making a whole lot of sense. We're not finding X, Y, or Z. If you can't provide me with that, then we're moving forward and we're canceling this. They can do that. All discussions, representations, and statements made at the mediation conference must be off the record and privileged as settlement negotiations. Okay. Now, this is very important for you to understand what this means. Okay. Discussions, representations, and statements made at the mediation conference. Okay. So that means if they're at the mediation conference, they're probably not going to be saying anything that is considered on the record. So, for example, if John Crook goes off and starts calling Jeremy a piece of garbage, blah, 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 doesn't matter. It's going to be considered as off the record. Not part of the court proceeding. They're not recorded. They are very privileged, which means you can't have any access to those. Mediation proceedings will not be recorded by a court reporter. That makes sense. Or by an electronic recording device, except as necessary to memorialize any settlement that may be reached. Now, This is also very important. Mark Feather tried to mediate with LP, and she accused him of trying to bribe her. Wasn't that Shockett? I don't know. Was it Mark Feather? Was it Shockett? Pretty sure it was Shockett. I don't know. Anyhow, yes. So there's I'm pretty sure it was Shockett, CJ. I could be wrong. My name, man, I've dealt with so many different judges, attorneys, defendants. I can't keep them all straight in my head anymore. But this is something to note, that they don't want to have this broadcast out to the world. Now, if they can't get it mediated, they can't get this stuff straightened out, it will be a jury trial, which will be available for you to pull up any of the written transcripts. You may have to pay for them, but you can get those written transcripts. By saying that she got Mark kicked off as Jeremy's. Okay. There you go. Thank you. I knew there was something like that. I couldn't remember the exact details of it. Now, this referral mediation does not automatically toll the time for completion of any other matter in the case. The parties are encouraged to settle as many issues during mediation as possible. Partial or complete settlements must immediately be reduced to writing in the presence of the mediator and be signed by all parties and their counsel. Thank you. Thank you, Shirley. I couldn't remember. So many names, so many faces, so many cases. Mediation in this case must be completed on or before February 15th, 2025. So the first part of next year, the mediation has to be completed. The mediator or parties must file a report within 14 days thereafter, indicating when the mediation was conducted and the outcome of the mediation. That is, whether the matter was settled, an impasse, or was declared. Okay. So what they're saying here, and I could be getting this wrong, but what they're saying is that within 14 days after the February 15th deadline of having mediation done, if they've had the mediation done within 14 days after the mediation has been completed, if they have it in January 15th instead of February 15th, and they complete the mediation, they've got to file a report thereafter indicating when it was conducted and what the outcome was. If the matter is settled in full, notice to the court must be immediate. Other words, if they know, as soon as they know that it's been settled in full, they need to notify the court so the court can remove all of that stuff off its docket. The parties may request the court excuse this mediation requirement upon a showing of good cause. Additionally, the parties may request a settlement conference before a magistrate judge in lieu of mediation. A request to excuse mediation must be made on or before January 18th, 2025. A request for settlement conference must be made on or before 28 days after the discovery deadline. Counsel may, for any represented party, must, within 10 days of the date of this order, consult with his or her client about the advantages, including savings of costs and attorney's fees, and disadvantages of proceeding with mediation immediately rather than awaiting the deadline set in this order. The parties by appointment may commence mediation at any time before the deadlines set in this order. And Judge Zachary Bolitho is the one that signed this thing. Yeah, he was not going to play around with any shenanigans from either party. So neither party is going to get away with diddly squat. Now, speaking of getting away with diddly squat, I would cover this thing in full, but I don't have all the documentation. Are you going to be on for a bit? Just asking because I need to alleviate some pain, so I'll want to listen and then return. No, go ahead. I'll be here for a little bit. I've probably got about another 45 minutes before I'll be firing this thing off, shutting it down, going away. Okay. Now there is some more information out there, and it looks like Jeremy's motion to dismiss was denied. I don't have all of the documents on that. Because those are sealed until they complete the work done on them. Once they're done with those, they will pull those documents and we'll be able to view them and what they say. But basically, from what I can tell, the judge said no. The civil case that Lynette has filed, is that right? Suing George and Bubbles and Larry and DJ Radis. That one is not being dismissed. That order came down, I believe, today. It wasn't there yesterday. It's there today, but they have redactions to do, and as soon as those are redacted, I'll pull up that information. I assume there's not going to be a very big document that's going to be written. It'll probably be pretty short and just saying that it was denied. So a loss for Jeremy on that one. But hey, that's the way that court stuff happens. You don't win every motion. Bubbles should know this. He's not an idiot. Well, most of the time, maybe not the smartest, but he's not an idiot, and he understands what this means. And I'm sure there'll be people celebrating and dancing around and going, "Woohoo! Looky here, it's not getting dismissed." Doesn't mean anything. All I know is it's going to proceed as it's required to by law. Can't win every single bit of your case all the time. Sometimes you already know you're not going to get it, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles with these. All right. Now that I've covered that, like I said, it wasn't really big information. I figure a lot of people would probably panic about it quite a bit and be freaking out like, oh my gosh, did you see what happened? We have a tour of the East with Larry Dickham. Want to see a little more? All right, let's do this. Share the East with Larry.
Okay, Larry Dickham here again to give you guys a tour like you have never seen before. I'd like to introduce you to my training grounds. Behold, Eastern Sasquatch land. You guys will probably never come here before because it's too far for anybody to travel. No civilization. As you can see, ain't no footprints up in this motherfucker. The only footprints is mine. That one right there. The only footprints to have ever graced this holy land. So don't even think about trying to come here unless you get my permission first. Because if you ain't got it from me, none of this you'll be able to see. Let me give you a tour. Let me focus a tour real quick. These here are undisturbed ruins of the Far East, only touched by my hands and my fingers. See that? This tree has only been touched by one human being ever in its entire life. And this is the hand right here. And this is the fist that I use to practice on this tree. I bust a hole in this tree right now, but I ain't gonna spoil you like that. I would, though, but I'm not.
No.
Gotta pay for that. Might be $49.95 or some shit like that. But take heed. No civilization except me. So, yeah, just kind of watch out for me as I truck back to the mainland. I think I spent enough time out here. Squirrels been eyeballing me, and I don't like that shit. So, stick with me.
Stick with me. Dickham's up, number 2.
After a long, hard day of taking names and kicking ass, them taking them names and kicking their asses again, sometimes the motherfucker just want to come home and sip on something cool and refreshing. Get yourself one of these. Dickens Up Malt Liquor. The only ever unisex beer in existence. Guaranteed to bust something open, even if you ain't trying to bust it open. Taste that, baby.
Oh, damn, baby. This make me want to get you some of that Sasquatch.
Goddamn right. As soon as that Sasquatch comes running, Larry Dickens gets the gunning. Dickens Up Malt Liquor. Cheers, baby. Make some more of that. Dickens Up Malt Liquor. Getting you one step closer to what a Sasquatch is.
Oh, hey, Natalie Baker and all have been catching up after the fact of your show. Still listening, got to make it to the show today. Keep doing what you're doing, Shizzy. Oh, I intend on doing exactly what I'm doing, Natalie. Making it good. wait till you see the picture. Look at the picture. Getting you one step closer to where the Sasquatch is. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh my. Oh my. All right. We've got some more Sovset stuff for you guys. Some more Sovset. Okay. This is going to blow your mind. All right. Here we go. I do not seek sovereignty for any of the following reasons. As a get-out-of-jail-free card, we don't promote or condone sovereignty as an excuse to be free from the criminal laws, for instance. Everyone is subject to real de jure. What the hell? Criminal laws should be subject as an excuse to be irresponsible for any loans or commitments I have ever made or will ever make. Some people, for instance, are only arrested in sovereignty so they can cancel debts or obligations they previously made. We, on the other hand, believe that one should always honor every commitment or debt they previously consented to, even if their consent at the time was not fully informed. As an excuse to engage in violent, harmful, or criminal behavior, we believe that everyone should be accountable and responsible for the harms they cause to others under the concept of equality for all in a civil context. That accountability is the common law and not the civil statutory law. As an excuse to reject all man-made law, thereby being anarchist, we think that sovereignty can only truly exist among people who are accountable under God's law at all times. Do not pick or choose which subset of God's law they're accountable under, and it is all lawful or nothing. Anarchy. Are accountable under criminal sovereignty by consenting to be civil statutory persons or by a civil domicile within the statutory jurisdiction of any government. As a justification to call myself a sovereign citizen or any other name, label, or stereotype the government must use to prosecute the whistleblowers that insist on accountable law-abiding government. We are simply crime fighters who seek to enforce the sovereignty delegated to us by the only true sovereign, which is the one God. As a justification to all enforce superior rights or importance to myself or inferior rights to anyone else under that their law. All are equal under the real law. That which creates or enforces an unequal or inferior status in the eyes of the government is and must at all times be a voluntary franchise that I seek to avoid. I won't abuse or misuse the sovereignty entrusted to me by God as his agent and representative on earth in order to do any of the above things, because this is what a wicked government currently abuses its alleged, but not actual sovereignty for. And two wrongs don't make a right. For proof, this is how they abuse the sovereignty. See your irresponsible, lawless, anarchist beast government in our form. They got a form for everything. Oh, what are we talking about? You lost me. I don't know. Who are you talking about? You lost me. I don't know. Who's Cheryl? Oh, what do you think will happen when they find out that they've been used? Oh, okay. There you go, Cheryl. That is a good question. On the crooks, what do you think will happen when they find out they've been used and lied to? Who? John Crook? Lynette? Who are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know what that means, Cheryl. You have to clue me in on what you're talking about. That's some soft shit right there. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Now, see, after reading all of this stuff, now I've read through quite a bit of this. They start quoting Bible scriptures, trying to go into descriptions. And then, of course, the two above mechanisms become the main weapons of the Pharisee lawyer profession. See, they call lawyers Pharisees. Pharisee lawyer profession to create an institutionalized system of criminal identity theft to illegally transport the legal identity of the average state citizen to what Mark Twain called the district of criminals. The above methods of effectively removing the protections of inalienable rights that cannot lawfully be given away, even with consent by the common law and the Constitution, has also been described by the U.S. Congress as the essence of communism itself. This is especially true when you add games with legal words of art to remove even the statutory limitations upon the conduct of the government. See the legal description, propaganda, fraud in this form that they've created for you to read. Oh my God, these are hilarious. Findings and declarations of fact. Oh my God. See, they're leaving these things out of here because these things right here mean absolutely nothing. These are things that Congress sat down, they had a meeting about, and they discussed. That's it. Oh, Lynette, too. Anarchy and God's law agent is the same in the same sentence. Quite an oxymoron, don't you think? Yeah. Let's see. So you're talking about Lynette and Crook. I hate autocorrection. Yeah. Lieutenant Crook. So how have they been lied to? No, seriously. Think about this. How have they been lied to? I have a feeling, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I do have a strict feeling. With speak and read typo, it happens. That kind of stuff happens quite often. So here's the problem. Here's the problem that Lynette Crook have. They have a separate attorney outside of their federal case, their state case. Okay, the lawsuit that Jeremy has filed against them for defamation is much different than the one that they have in Levy County. So one is state, one is Levy. Look up Dick Insider. Oh, I have, Natalie. I've showed the Dick Insider commercials, but I've got a better one for you, Natalie. If you haven't seen it, just you wait. We'll be getting to that one. We've seen the Dick Insider. What is up? The problem with having these kinds of quotes in there is they're not anything that's going to be legally binding. And this is where you run into problems with people that want to put these things out whenever they've got governed identity, and these are their own created forms. Problem is these forms don't change anything. The fact that I believe the Constitution as an invasion within the meaning of Article 4 of Section 4 of the United States Constitution, as well as an act of international terrorism for the federal government to either offer or enforce any national franchise within the constitutional state of the Union, or for any state of the Union to condone or allow such activity. Now, see, here's the problem with their thoughts, is these aren't anything that's legally binding. It's just word salad. Now, whenever you have word salad that comes out like this, it's not going to do anything for your case. It just makes you look like a fool. And I think that a lot of sovereign citizens think that if you give enough word salad that you'll have somebody confused, or at least you think it makes sense to you. Whenever they read this or listen to it, they go, you're very uninformed, because that is not what it says. Because if you're only going to take one little section of it, you're not taking the whole thing. Because you're still governed by your local government, is in the form of taxes. If you put fuel in your vehicle, you're still paying taxes. You're back. Howdy. Anyone I missed while I was listening? Oh, no. But we do have some more videos that we'll be showing you. I'm keeping you guys scattershot around. There's a reason why I'm doing that. It really messes with the it really messes with the algorithm. There we go. So I do like to keep a lot of these things very, very much around. Like to keep it nice and solid just for you guys. Because if I do those, it keeps a smile on your face. It keeps you happy. We like the squirrels. We like squirrels. You like the raccoons also? Chizzy squirrels. Yeah, they're all over the place today. So my motives are not commercial, but anti-commercial. Black's Law Dictionary. Now, you have to understand that Black's Law Dictionary is only giving definitions. It does not quote the law. One of the problems that soft citizens like to do is start saying that these are part of the law. That's not law. Because a lot of what the quotes that you'll find in there are only precedent, and then those things will be struck down by further precedent. And unless you're an attorney, which 90% of the soft cits are not attorneys, because if they were, they would go, yeah, that's just word salad. You're not going to get anywhere as long as they stay out of the trash. Oh, come on. You love the trash pandas. They're so cute. Don't mess with my trash panda. See, I got my trash panda right there. He's got freedom seeds for peanut. Quoting things out of the Bible is not going to change law that governs you. If you live in the United States, you are considered a citizen of the United States. Simple as that. If you don't like it, there's a border to the south, there's a border to the north, there's a border to the east and to the west. And you can pick your choice and head that direction. Find yourself another place that's going to allow you the freedoms. I guarantee you, your bullshit ain't going to fly in other countries. And as you'll see, they pull little pieces out. Soft sets will pull little pieces out. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Declaration of Independence. Now, what does that mean? Well, why don't we pull up the Declaration of Independence and see exactly what it is that the Declaration of Independence has to say. Because the Declaration of Independence, all it is declaring independence from England. That's all that it is. Nothing more. It's not even legally binding. Because even though the United States declared independence from England, England could have said, yeah, we don't honor your declaration, and see you bye. Which is exactly what they did. England didn't like it. We formed a new nation, declared our independence from the rule of England, and now we're back, being buddy-buddy with them and other European countries. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights. So here, I'll start from the beginning. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which they have connected them one another, and to assume among them the powers of the earth, and separate an equal station to which the laws of nature and natures of God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, derived their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive at these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurping, pursuing an invariable and the same object in vices, and designed to reduce them under absolute despotism, which were nowhere near despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, and having a direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. Just Dawn. Hey, how's it going, Just Dawn? Tracy, temporarily, yeah, but I'm having torn rotator cuff is not fun. Damn right it's not. Having Just Dawn, what can we help you with? Just Dawn, I was told a very reliable source that was all men and women. Oh, you know the thing. That's right, Joe. That's right. Now, this right here is what they are talking about in this point, is that a tyrannical government has no place in the world. The United States is far from being a tyrannical government. And whenever they bring this to the king, basically these are their grievances with the King of England, and with the King of England trying to rule from afar, levying taxes upon people and not receiving anything for it, not receiving the help that they so much desired. So here are their facts submitted to the world, their grievances against the king, which are: he has refused to assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. Basically, the king, who wasn't attending to his duty to this colony, the 13 colonies of the United States, they weren't attending to the needs of these people. And therefore, if you're not attending to the needs of the people, they felt that it was necessary to take governing themselves and making sure that these laws were passed, not waiting on a king or a queen to pass the laws for them, because their rights had been so far destroyed, they couldn't own land. They couldn't hear the grievances were not being heard by the king. All land was going to be owned by the crown. He has refused to pass other laws and accommodations of large districts of people unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. So basically saying you have no rights to decide what happens to you in your own domicile, taking those rights away from man, woman, child. And distance from the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures, basically making you slaves on another continent altogether. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with many manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers incapable of annihilation have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions from within. Now, if you're understanding what he's saying, these problems that the United States was having as these 13 colonies were forming, is these large groups couldn't pass any laws without having the king sign off on them. They had no redress against the king, saying you're wanting taxes from us, but we don't have anything to give. We don't have any money. You're keeping trade coming in. You're keeping trade going out. We're basically trying to self-survive here, and yet you're wanting us to pay some sort of pittance that we have no idea what that pittance is. So whenever these sov sits are going off on all of their little tangents about the Declaration of Independence, they're missing all of what this is about. As you can see, they put the little quotation marks in here. So whenever a sov sit is bitching about all of their things, if you read the entire context of the Declaration of Independence, it's not short. There you go. I'll pull it up for you. It says, these are all redresses. He erected a multitude of new office, sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. Basically saying you're eating their food. That's trying to keep them alive. He is kept among us in times of peace, standing armies without the consent of their legislatures. He is affected to render the military independent and of superior to the civil power. He's combined with others subject us to jurisdiction foreign to your constitution, unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assents to their acts of pretend legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which should they commit in the inhabitants on these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretend offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein arbitrary government, enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once example a fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislatures, for declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection, waging war against us. He's plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burned our towns, destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, tyranny, already begun with circumstances of cruelty, perfidy, scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages and totally unworthy of the head of the civilized union of a nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas, to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, all to fall themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrections among us, has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by a repeated injury. The prince whose character is thus marked by the very act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a fit people. Nor have we been wanting and inattentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarranted jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our immigration and settled here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by ties of their common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our current correspondence. We have been deaf they have too been deaf to the voice of justice and contiguity. We must therefore acquiesce to the necessity which denounces our separation, to hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all the other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other's lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. That is the Declaration of Independence. It's not just a small piece of paper. It's a list of grievances. It has Georgia, Maryland, Delaware, Massachusetts, New York, Virginia, South Carolina, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. All of these people signed on knowing what the outcome was going to be. But you never know what the outcome is going to be of this channel. So if you want to see something fun, just bear with me, because we've got the fun for you. Ooh, it's going to be so tasty. Here we go. Tasty, tasty.
If you're like me, you find it very hard to keep your dick dry. I left my dick unprotected and it was warped out of shape in no time. I could barely recognize my own dick. Imagine that. Then I discovered Schaefer's New Zealand style dick sealant, the best way to take care of your dick in 3 easy steps. First, wash your dick with soap and water. Then, wait for your dick to dry. Once your dick is clean and dry, paint your dick with Schaefer's dick sealant. I used to be too embarrassed to invite people over to see my dick. But now, my dick's the talk of the town. I even have pictures of my dick. Check out that dick. I'm going to send this to my secretary. Barbara always loves to receive my dick pics. After all, summertime is all about spending time on your dick. I'll often have 20 to 30 people on my dick at once. That can really wear your dick out, causing dick splinters and discoloration. But with Schaefer's dick sealant, my dick stays a nice golden brown colour. Who wouldn't want a golden dick? I used to never let children anywhere near my dick. My dick was too dangerous for kids to play on. But it seems like every kid in the neighbourhood's been on my dick this summer, and they've all had a good time. My dick's over 70 years old, but it looks brand new. That's part of the reason all my neighbours are jealous of my dick. Isn't that right, Jim? Yes, you've got a nice dick, okay? His wife is always on my dick, begging me to know the secret of my perfect dick. If you like Schaefer's dick sealant, check out Schaefer's New Zealand style cock. I had a huge hole in my dick, but I fixed it by jamming some cock in it. You'd be surprised how many things you can fix by jamming cock into them. Have an extra large hole in your dick? Try Schaefer's African style cock. Just go to your local home improvement store and ask for the big black cock. Schaefer's New Zealand style dick sealant. Don't put it on your penis. There's also a helpful number on the back. Hi, I've got a question about my dick. Schaefer's New Zealand style. Hey, get that squirrel off my dick. He knows he's not allowed to come on my dick. Right around the time I turned 40, my dick became soft and spongy, and I never used it anymore. My wife wouldn't even sit on my dick, and the neighbourhood cops would all point and laugh. But that was before I discovered Schaefer's New Zealand style dick hardener from the makers of Schaefer's dick sealant. It keeps your dick nice and hard all year round in 3 simple steps. First, grab a neighbour to help, because making your dick as hard as a rock can be a 2-man job. Then, rub the dick hardener into your dick, hard and fast. And when you get tired, take a break and watch your neighbour rub your dick. It's fun to watch someone else rub your dick. And finally, simply wait for your dick to get hard while you think about all the fun times you'll have this year on your rock-hard dick. I've rubbed my dick raw with other inferior products, but that won't happen with Schaefer's dick hardener, because Schaefer's is committed to your dick, and the people at headquarters do nothing but think about dicks all day long. In fact, Schaefer's now has an entire new line of products specifically formulated just for your dick. There's Schaefer's Dick Paint, for when you want to play around with having a different coloured dick. And if you want to get rid of your dick entirely and start from scratch, try Schaefer's Dick Remover. The unique acid formula will melt away your dick in no time. And if you don't think it'll work, ask me mum. She used to have a dick, then she got rid of it when she met Dad. To be honest, I think Dad loved her more when she had a dick. It was enormous. Trust me, I've seen the photos. But most importantly, be on the lookout for the world's first dick vacuum, Schaefer's New Zealand style dick sucker. Because why should you pay 2 guys you don't know to show up in a van and suck your dick for you? Now you can suck your own dick, all you want. Hey, why not make yourself some extra money and suck everyone in the neighbourhood's dick while you're at it? So join us on social media and tweet us a picture of your dick using the hashtag #ShowUsYourDick. Oh look, we've already got some.
Show us your dicks, big and small. Here at Schaefer's we can take them all. A dick in the front, a dick in the rear. We've serviced dicks our entire career. Schaefer's, it's good for your wood.
Schaefer's New Zealand style dick hardener. It's like Viagra for your dick. I've shown my dick to people I work with hundreds of times, and they love it, not just because I'm the boss. Hi, I'm Marty Schaefer, president of Schaefer's New Zealand style products, such as Dick Sealant, Dick Hardener, Dick Remover, and my personal favourite, the Dick Sucker. Until recently, we used to refer to those all-important office presentations as PowerPoints. But in today's office, dicks are on the tip of everyone's tongue. And that's why our latest product focuses on the many dicks you're exposed to at work. Schaefer's New Zealand style dick
Professional dick
presentations.
tips.
Guys, let's show them all the
dick
different dicks they can buy from us. Running a company can be challenging, and that's why I communicate to my clients and employees in the clearest way a man can in the corporate environment, with my dick. Oh, sorry. There for me, Barbara? Yeah. Even though we have all sorts of dicks, fast-paced dicks, flashy dicks, interactive dicks, inspirational dicks, persuasive dicks, and dicks just for the holidays, you can't just rock up to a meeting and whoop your dick out. Before I show my dick to anyone, I put it on the biggest screen I can find and then spend up to 2 hours poring over every detail of my enormous dick. That's the longest one in this office. Everyone's eyes widen when they first see it. But once they get their hands on the hard copy, they get the feel of my dick, and I like watching them do it. If your dick is boring, people can easily doze off because they've seen a dick like yours before. But with Schaefer's New Zealand-style dick presentations, you'll virtually slap them with your dick. Jim, wake up. What was I talking about? Your dick? Good, Jim. It's a good sign if Jim is following along. He's seen so many dicks, I'm convinced all he dreams of are dicks.
No more dicks. Get it out of my face. I've had enough.
Poor little guy. I've got to go now. I've done such a fantastic job presenting my dick around the office that I've got a meeting with the head of human resources. Hope it's a promotion. Kidding. I'm the president. I can do whatever I want. You wanted to see me, Kathy? Schaefer's New Zealand-style dick presentations. Try our dicks. They're easy because they're not hard.
And I do not take credit for these videos. Do not take credit for these videos. At all. At all. Do not take it. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. I knew you guys would like it. You grew up in Verner's. Anything else is too light for you. No, not a problem, Tammy. I F you autocorrect. Oh my. Well, I am going to be heading out here shortly, but before I do that one, we've got one more Judge Simpson video for you guys. You ready for it? One more Judge Simpson video, and then we're going to call it a night. There we go.
You can file whatever motion you want, but I'm going to tell you something, sir. I'm not going to sit here listening to frivolous motions.
Okay.
I'm just not going to do it. Court does call the case of the people versus Daniel Magoo.
Morning. Daniel Magoo.
You're going to represent yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what are we doing?
To begin, I'd like to just announce a brief summary of the incident that happened.
Pardon?
The incident on October 11th, the reason why I'm here. I would just like to announce a
It's
brief
gonna
summary
get
of what
good.
happened.
And that's going to get us where?
Just wait.
Well, I did file a motion a couple weeks ago for discovery. I have a copy of each.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Did you get the discovery?
I did not, but I don't think I properly served it on the prosecutor, so I'm here to do that today. I did serve it with the courts. I did file with the courts.
Oh, no, I saw it. So what do you want me to do with your case today?
Well, I a few things. I want my bond conditions lifted. I want a discovery. I don't know exactly what the procedures here is. You know that's wrong.
Yeah, I know, because as you're talking and as everything went through, I could tell you didn't know.
Yeah, sorry. But I'm trying my best to do things right. But I just
Okay, you haven't started out well.
Sorry. I'm here because I'm told to be here today, Your Honor. That's all.
I know.
So what I want to do
kind of goes out in my name. So yes, I know why you're here. Let me ask you this. You want to represent yourself in this?
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't want help?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to apprise you. If you wish to represent yourself, you're constitutionally entitled to do that. I will apprise you that you are before the court on the charge of resisting and obstructing a police officer. You understand that charge?
I do.
All right. That is a felony or a high court misdemeanor. It is punishable by up to 2 years incarceration and $2,000 fine plus court costs. You understand that?
I do.
All right. You also understand, sir, that there can be great peril in representing yourself.
I understand.
You understand also that at this proceeding and any other further proceeding, that the court is going to hold you to the same standard the court would hold anybody else to. And the court will not play favors. The court will not help you out. The court will not be assisting you. You understand that, sir?
I do.
All right. If at any time you wish to be represented by an attorney, and if you cannot afford to hire an attorney, but if you wish to be represented by an attorney, the court will afford you that opportunity to be represented. You understand that?
That process is throughout the whole discovery and trial.
Pardon?
I can be assisted with
if you request an attorney represent you in this matter, that the court will at that point, if you cannot afford to hire one, the court will make sure that you have one. If you wish to get your own attorney, the court will afford you that opportunity to do that. You understand that?
I do.
So what do we wish to do today?
I would like to first file a request for suppression of this evidence until
suppression of what evidence?
Of body cams, squad footage.
On what basis would you be doing that?
Miranda versus Arizona.
Which says what?
That I was not read my rights prior to being detained, and because of that, any violations that I could have possibly said that could impede my case.
Ain't gonna work. Here we go.
That's your basis for the suppression of body cam?
Denied.
That I have the right to be read my Miranda rights and know that anything that I say can be used against me. I was not notified.
So that's your basis.
That's right.
To suppress the body cam.
I'm not trying to suppress it from the court to see. I don't want it in the public domain. I don't want it. Anything that happened. I was on the scene. The police were on the scene for 2 minutes. They were dispatched there over a fight.
I don't know what. Okay. You're going to have to put more in writing for me to even understand that, because as it stands here right now, based upon what you told me, I'm going to deny your motion.
Deny my motion to suppress under Miranda?
If you're calling it, your motion's denied.
Okay. Maybe I'll formulate my request a little more precise to my specific conditions, but I also am requesting that there's full discovery in this process.
Okay. Have you sent a request to the prosecutor's office for discovery?
I have not. Nope.
Have you asked them, how do I get discovery?
No, I will be doing that.
Did you ask anybody how to get discovery?
I asked a couple of the clerks, but they can't
doesn't
give too much legal advice. So I'm trying to take as much responsibility for this as I can.
Okay. Well, I'm going to, at this point, deny that motion because there hasn't even been a request for discovery. If you don't get something, then you bring a motion for discovery.
Okay.
Next thing you want to do.
There you go.
Discontinue all hearings until there's substantial evidence on file.
Okay, that doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
I don't know what discontinue all hearings mean.
I don't know either, Your Honor. I'm just representing myself over here.
This is going to be a long process if you just are throwing stuff out there.
I tried to prepare my best for this. I'm really
okay. This was your best. Then you may want to consider getting an attorney, but I'm going to let you go because you have a constitutional right to do it.
I'm with you.
But this is going to be a long, arduous process if we're going to go at this rate.
What does the prosecution expect next in this case?
Pardon? What do you mean?
You're asking me for what I want out of this case and what I expect.
I'm asking you, what do you want to do today?
I want to go home and have all charges lifted.
That's not going to happen.
Okay, so
I mean,
what do I got to do?
Going home is an option, but the charges aren't going anywhere.
I understand, and that's the end goal of where I want to be one day.
This works.
Acquitted of all charges. Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt, but I am from the public defender's office. I'd be happy if the court wanted to pass this to talk with this gentleman.
He says he wants to represent himself and he wants to talk to you, then yeah, I mean, I know, Mr. Getty, and I appreciate it, but what do you want to do, sir?
Go home.
I'm not sure what you're asking me. What are my options, sir? Your Honor.
All right.
What do I want to do?
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break because I have to have something happen before noon. I will call the Spanish case up afterwards. I will also then call the one plea, maybe, that we have, and then I'll recall your case in the next block.
Okay.
And then maybe between the time I leave this bench and come back, you'll figure out exactly what you want to do.
Yeah,
and maybe how to do it.
I'll do that.
Or maybe if you want an attorney to represent you to help you through this process, because
Appreciate
otherwise this thing could go go south for you.
Yeah, I understand.
Not be good. But I'll let you think about that. That's your call.
All right.
Court's in recess.
Oh,
Court recalls
later.
case people versus Daniel McGraw.
That's a lot of people.
In Your Honor.
State your name.
Daniel Magoo.
All right.
Your Honor, when the court passed this case and left the bench, the defendant did hand me a copy of his
He's in
motion.
for it.
I took the recess of the court to file a response. I hand delivered it to the defendant as well as handing the copy to the court. If I may just respond to the record.
Yes.
Thank you. So this motion was sort of put in 3 different sections, for lack of a better term, and they seem to all, like 1 through 11 in each section seems to be the same item. So I only responded to the middle section, which were the motions and requests. The first motion was to compel the testimony of officers at a deposition. I'm asking the court to deny that. As the court is well aware, depositions are not appropriate in criminal court. Does the court want me to go through each one and then make a ruling on all, or do you want to do one at a time?
Let's do one at a time.
Okay.
All right. You got any response to the people's response?
Not for that, Your Honor.
No. Motion denied.
Thank you. The second request is the request for discovery, where the defendant appears to be requesting that we produce different discovery items, as well as there's a sentence here that says the defendant possesses exculpatory video footage. Request an opportunity to submit it for review. I'm not,
Fly girl.
if he wants
Good
to
to
give us
see
something,
you.
that's fine, but I just think he should go through the normal discovery process, and I'm not saying the court not order what he's requesting in number 2, because it doesn't appear that there's been any request filed for discovery that hasn't been fulfilled or completed at all.
Well, here's what I'm going to do, at least at this point, is I'm going to deny the motion, that portion of the motion also. When he submits his request for discovery, then I'm going to deny that one specifically without prejudice. That way he can raise whatever issue he may have.
I agree completely. Your Honor. Thank you so much. Number 3 was particularly troubling to the people, as it appears to be a request for the people to get medical records for some person and give those to defendant. I responded that request was unclear, but it appears to be that the people executed a search warrant to obtain medical information for an alleged witness who does not appear to be mentioned in the police report currently in possession of the people. Unless otherwise directed by the court, the people would think that this people don't intend to execute a search warrant to seek out private and potentially privileged medical information for this person.
Your Honor, in response to that, I have a FOIA records describing the witness and his shirt that he was wearing, which is the reason why the deputies or the detectives were dispatched to the Puffer Reds parking lot at 3 a.m. that morning. I also have a picture of the witness being right there when I got arrested. I mean, I can show you it. It's quickly available here for me to show you, but I mean, he's really within.
I really would be objecting to the defendant showing anything to the court that he has not disclosed to the people.
So, given that I do have FOIA on my CAD records for the dispatch record of police when they made comments saying there's a Huron Valley ambulance dispatched for a person due to high intoxicants. I wasn't dispatched through Huron Valley, but this is in my police report. I think this is valid enough to say that he is a part of the same.
I think it is.
event.
But is it
Do you
really?
have a name?
His name is, I've known him for 15 years. I was with him throughout the course of the night and was.
So you want his medical records?
I want to, first of all, subpoena him to get his witness, statement on record officially. And I would also like his records due to the nature of why they.
I'm not going to order. I mean, that is, I'm not going to order medical records. If you tailor a request for something that isn't available in another fashion, then that's fine, but I'm going to deny that.
I guess.
Yeah, a lot of my civil procedures,
like to me.
I will be correcting and will not have any more problems
Strike
with.
3.
But as for right now,
Your civil procedures?
I'm trying to follow the rules of federal civil procedures, and this is my
Of federal?
yeah, this is.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, so we're a state court.
Okay.
And this
I'll
is
try to
criminal
follow
proceedings.
anyways, then. Thank you
Yeah,
for
you
your
mean
guidance.
Michigan court
Yeah.
rules.
So you might want to start there. Okay.
So that 3 is denied.
So this is the problem with people that try to self-represent, and the reason why in certain court cases they won't allow you to get away with this kind of thing. Like certain filings, whenever you're filing something that has to do with another state entirely, that can be a real big problem, especially if you're trying to quote federal rules in a court case, because it doesn't subside. Yeah, objection. Yeah, mom. That is this is not going to work out well for him.
Huh?
3 is denied, Your Honor.
The whole motion's denied, yes.
Thank you.
All 3 parts.
Number 4 was to subpoena a witness. I just responded that the defendant should follow the subpoena process that's available to him.
Understood.
Okay. Number 5 was that the defendant is requesting the report produce all audio or video recordings. I said he should go through the discovery process. That's that motion at this point. Like, don't.
It's denied.
Thank you.
You can
Number
get
6,
to him.
the people, I'm not exactly sure. There's a motion to seal statements.
I don't know what that meant.
I don't either.
What does that mean?
It means any statements that I made under stress to either the police officers when they were questioning me or before, after.
What do you want to do with them?
I would like to suppress them so that they don't hinder my trial experience, as I was not.
What does that mean?
Well, I was not given proper notice of my rights when I was detained, and I was questioned thoroughly afterwards.
You have to file a motion. You'd have to lay out specifics as to how and or another any statement that you made, which it doesn't sound to me like was the subject matter of necessarily an in-custodial interrogation, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to need to lay out all the elements of that before I would rule on that. But in its form, as it sits right now, that motion's denied without prejudice.
Thank you, Your Honor. My response to number 7, which is the defendant is notifying the court of exculpatory video evidence. Okay. I don't have any response to that, really, beyond the fact that it seems that these are videos.
Yeah, my email address is there. My email address is shizzywhiznut@gmail.com. That's exactly the same email. If you looked on the contact page, it would show you. You'd have to open it, but it's there. Yeah, my stuff is there. Totally has been for quite some time since I started this channel. But yeah, shizzywhiznut@gmail.com. I always look at funny stuff. I love funny stuff.
As the defendant has, and that he hasn't received any videos from my office yet, so I don't see how
I have
to
video.
respond to any piece of this.
I have videos, both FOIA requested from the Ypsilanti Police Department and my own. I was formalizing the process for the prosecutor to build her prosecution.
To do what?
When I requested discovery items that I'm going to do following the rules of civil procedure.
That's funny.
That's what I was, yeah.
So this is the last one. What are you going to do with that? What do you want the court to do?
Let me go
I
home.
want the court to find on what grounds throughout the discovery process that I'm guilty of these crimes.
Okay, sir, it doesn't, you seem to want this process to work away, doesn't it?
Crazy. I've got more.
Maybe that's the disadvantage of being pro
I
se.
can't release it all right now.
Yes, there are huge disadvantages because I think you know what you're doing, but you don't. It's become readily clear to me. You have no idea what you're doing.
Right.
And so I'm going to ask you, and it's going to cause some difficulty for you. So I'm going to ask you again, do you wish to be represented by an attorney?
I do not.
Okay. Motion denied.
Number 8, defendant requests the court cancel all current bond conditions
we're way past
pending.
baseball.
Motion
now.
denied.
Thank you. Motion to continue proceedings. People weren't opposed to adjournments, but this is actually kind of includes several things. The request is to continue all scheduled hearings until requested testimony, evidence, and hospital records are provided. So I don't have an issue if the defendant needs more time to be prepared to have hearing, but I do have an issue if he's trying to say that he can't do anything until we get somebody's medical records. So I'm going to get a search warrant for somebody's medical records and to depose officers in the criminal case.
Which both of those have been denied. So by default, that would have to be denied if that's what he's asking.
I've made a note of the new address mentioned in section 10, and then there's number 11 is to seal all indictments. I don't know what this means.
I don't know.
All incident related documents and evidence. I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
It's reiterating the sealing. Anything that I said is really.
I don't know how that sealing would take place.
Okay.
I think you really need to think about getting an attorney. That part of the motion is also denied.
That's all. Thank you, Aaron.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
Well, I would like a chance to amend the motion.
No, you can file whatever motion you want, but I'm going to tell you something, sir. I'm not going to sit here listening to frivolous motions.
Okay.
I'm just not going to do it.
That's not my intent, Your Honor.
No, I don't care whether it's your intent or not. 3/4, if not 7/8 of that motion that we just dealt with was frivolous. It has no basis in law at all. You're just filing stuff. I'm going to tell you, I'm not putting up with that. Are we clear on that?
We are clear.
So what do you wish to do now? Do you wish to have a preliminary exam set?
Yeah, I'd ask for some for an adjournment in order to review the discovery materials I produced from my FOIA.
That what?
That I've came up with through my FOIA request. Or I'm going to plan on submitting the procedures as normal through the prosecution too, as well. But I need time to review the documents.
What does that mean?
That means I just got the documents and I haven't been able to review them, and I need time to review them. I can't decide on something and request for something right now in this moment if I haven't reviewed evidence.
So all you want is an adjournment?
After this response that I submitted to her and she submitted back, yes, sir, Your Honor. Adjournment for pretrial, adjournment for discovery materials.
You know something, sir? Just because you use what seem to be legal words and try to place them into a sentence doesn't mean that it makes sense.
I understand that, Your Honor.
No, I don't think you do. I think you were just placing words in sentences, thinking that because what you're asking for makes no sense. And if you think it does make sense, then maybe this court needs to send you for a competency. And I'm not saying that jokingly. This doesn't make any sense. I'll grant your adjournment. Next time you'll need to fill out a sheet to do it, but I'm not going to waste the time today to do it because.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, for the record, I put the email address the defendant should contact for discovery on this post-it note, which I'm going to place here, and he can pick up. He's indicated he doesn't want to communicate with me about this case.
He doesn't want?
Oh, at
He
that
doesn't want to
moment.
communicate with me about his case earlier, so I'm not going to speak with him today about this case. So I've given him the post-it note to get discovery.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way to get this going. All right. Probable cause conference. Me. Yeah, let me at least have some turkey before I have to deal with this again. December 5th, 2024, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Bond will continue.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I am muted. I was reading something that was sent to me by Megan. This is awesome. Thank you so much, Megan, for sending this over to me. This is what Megan sent over to me. She took a screenshot. Yeah, what a damn boomer. I can't help it. It happens. It happens. Oh yeah. Yes, it was sent by T Underwood. I guess he chatted it, and this is what Megan sent over to me. It says, T Underwood, Shizzy is the receipt of responses to BBB by email. He is poetic and funny in his responses. I try to be. I lack in other areas, but yeah, I try to be funny in my responses. Everybody, I want to send you all over to go see Expert. Expert will probably be sending you over to go see MG after a bit. Have a wonderful night, and I've got some new music that I'll probably play for you tomorrow at some point in time. Probably not in the morning, but in the evening. It'll be fun. It'll be quirky. And I'll probably be working on it a little bit tonight before I hit the hay. Thank you very much for coming by. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
Running through the maze, I felt the pain, chasing my only dream, break from the scheme. Waking up at dawn, all my fears are gone. I'll stop today, never, never, not today. Compromise, rise above it all, not gonna fall. Step by step I go, faster than the flow. Broke through every chain, I will not be contained.